The future of congestion pricing still up in the air at this hour. The New Jersey lawsuit that could stop it before it starts. Good evening. I'm Christine Johnson. Right now, a judge is still weighing whether to stop congestion pricing from going into effect this Sunday. A hearing today led to a long recess this evening, with the judge calling attorneys on both sides. The state of New Jersey filed the lawsuit to stop the MTA from putting the toll in place, and today's decision is on whether to pause it while the case goes forward. Our Christine Sloan is in the courthouse waiting for that decision to come down, and we will get to her as soon as it does. In the meantime, commuters are waiting to find out if there will be a last-minute roadblock. Derick Waller is live outside MTA headquarters in Lower Manhattan, where I'm sure MTA leaders are also waiting on this decision on this Friday night, Derick.
Christine, a late Friday night in the office, to be sure, for employees at the MTA, leadership at the MTA, because, as you mentioned, Christine Sloan's still in court at 8 o'clock on Friday night. This was supposed to happen. This decision was supposed to happen a few hours ago, and so everyone is sitting here waiting and wondering what this judge is going to do. An unprecedented situation here. We've been told that officials with the MTA will come out and speak to the press if the judge decides to allow this to move forward. But again, we are still waiting for that judge to make a decision. If not, then we are in a whole new phase of this, because the clock really is ticking here. Now, one reason for this January 5th start date is because they want to get this done while Biden is still in office. Congestion pricing had to get approval from the federal government, and Trump, he has said that he would actually kill this if he were in office. So it becomes a lot harder to do that if the plan is already up and running. Now, this last-ditch effort to kill the plan came from several different plaintiffs in New Jersey, including the state of New Jersey, as well as the mayor of Fort Lee. The main argument was that the government botched the environmental review. For example, in the environmental assessment, New York outlines money for mitigation for pollution due to increased truck traffic. Well, they spelled out exactly how much the Bronx is going to get, but they did not do the same for communities in New Jersey. The judge said that they've got to fix that and come back to him on January 17th. But earlier this week, when he put out that decision, he was vague as to whether that meant that congestion pricing would still continue on January 5th. And so that leads us to today. We have this hearing that's been going on for quite some time. They are in recess for some time, the judge calling a member of plaintiffs and defendants to his chambers. But still, after 8 o'clock, no decision as to whether or not this plan will move forward on January 5th. Again, the clock ticking, because if this is delayed past Inauguration Day, it may very well never happen, Christine.
All right, Derick, as we wait, let's get some legal analysis from James Sample, a Hofstra law professor. James, thanks for joining us here on this Friday night. What could possibly be happening right now? This hearing started at 3 o'clock. We understand that the judge met with both sides. He even spoke with them in the courtroom. You know, given your legal expertise, take us through what's been happening.
Well, Christine, it's good to be with you as always. I think that what must be occurring here is that the judge is considering all of the arguments as carefully as possible, and he's up against a significant clock, a clock that to some extent is by design, in the sense that, as you say, and as Derick's report indicates, all sides are aware of the significance of January 20th and Mr. Trump's inauguration, given that the Biden administration signed off on this plan as early as 2023, so more than a year ago. The Biden administration indicated support for this plan. Then, as we all know, it's gone through this history. It was going to go into effect. Then Governor Hochul decided not to have it go into effect. And now, post-November election, to go into effect, albeit with reduced tolls. This is really the last of the legal hurdles. And they're not focused on the substance of congestion pricing. Certainly, you know, as well as anyone, that there are huge opponents and huge proponents of the plan of congestion pricing, and it's a very divisive topic in New York. But this hearing is not focused on whether it's a good idea. Today's hearing was all about whether or not the I's have been dotted and the T's have been crossed from an administrative standpoint in terms of the procedures that needed to take place, including, and Judge Gordon on Monday issued a 72-page decision that was mostly favorable for the state of New York and for the MTA, and mostly unfavorable for New Jersey. But it did indicate that Judge Gordon felt that the Federal Highway Administration needed to do some more thinking and at least provide a bit more detail about the environmental impact on New Jersey specifically. Whether that additional study and additional detail is enough to stall the program and then potentially derail the program, because if it doesn't go into effect by January 20th, it's much easier for Mr. Trump to stop it when it's not yet in effect than it is for him to stop the program once it already is. What's taking so long? I suspect it's just that Judge Gordon has got a fairly weighty set of considerations and wants to have his ruling be as tightly reasoned as possible.
Yeah, that is obvious. We thought that this was going to be a pretty quick decision that we were going to hear today, but obviously we were wrong on that as we wait here now past 8 o'clock. If you don't mind, keep your phone ready because we're still waiting for this ruling to get down, and we'd love to get your take on it if it does happen before 9 o'clock here tonight. Thank you. Appreciate your time. And as always, James Sample. Getting congestion pricing to happen has been a long time coming. It was definitely paused, indefinitely paused, that is, on June 5th, and that is when the toll for cars was due to be set at $15. And then the plan was put back in place with Governor Hochul's announcement on November 14th after the election. But she announced that there would be a lower toll of $9 for cars. And now we're waiting to see if that start date will in fact be this Sunday, January 5th, and if that will stay in place. There is a lot to sift through here, and on our website we have all of our past coverage as we are navigating the future of congestion pricing. You can also find a detailed breakdown of the tolls and what time that they change. That's all at cbsnewyork.com.